Good morning, and welcome. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? This is Lawal Ado, editor-in-chief. This is our studio director. Joseph Olabi. This is Momo, director. Okay, man. So what I've told her is that we know we are not getting fresh money to invest in it. So I said we should work out a solution with the money they have, which is a lot of money. So they have agreed that they are going to work out a solution. They sent us the local resource team and we are talking. So with that now we're going to bring back something like a street in the next year or so that goes. Everything is ready. Why are you going to take a whole year? I think it has to do with some still old agreements. I was actually meant to go for that meeting when I came back. After that journey I had to come back for the meeting. So I'll go back next week. So we'll conclude and we'll roll. I just give 1 year just to be on the safe side. I don't want to tell you 6 months. What is it? If they agree that the money is good, so if you still all that you do this. We hope and pray that next time they're here, they will discover yes. So I told him, he's spending my salary.
Yes, we have photographers in Abuja, in Lagos, Ibadan, Port Harcourt.
Photograph pics rather than voice sometimes. So that is what we usually do to deploy photographers to each state of the federation. And you know that we equally have district offices. We are expanding, so we just have to.
Frankly speaking, wherever you have an office, you have because it speaks volumes, and you don't even have to write any copy most times when you photograph. I think you are often underestimated
According to reports, the bridge has been overstretched beyond its capacity.
Hangover from colonialism. Whereas they have gone overboard to put more premium on other photos.
Yes. So the idea is to have district office in each of the selectoral areas.
I never carry bells to go across that because when you go coming back, you can sort of find out on those so I rather back and use my legs to cross that bridge which is
But I think it's a very good bridges like the link up with the max.
Just a lifeline to something.
Anyway, it's spread in every local government.
Because
and today with the citizen journalism, where anybody can take pictures, using it.
Apart from its age,
if you
sizable increase
in
commercial
well,
activities, and you know this is the age we have our attitude, considering the
you'll be surprised that the NOA also sell reports
the extent of load traffic we have on this.
No, we're not talking about what we there's no doubt. You need that. No, I understand the perfectly, sir. I understand the perfectly. You see, those are the main views. If a photograph
Master.
This will generate an average of 300 to 400 stories every day from this. We do here in Lagos, we have about close to 500 stories every day. Pictures, graphics, information, data. This is the control center. And this is the agency where I come and brief the minister what is doing.
So we have about 168 reporters here. And then we have about 80 reporters in Lagos. But nationwide we have about 523 reporters. We have offices in all the states of the Federation. And then in addition we have 14 district offices. And the district here we have about 14 districts, which I will take you around to. All over the federation. Also, newspapers are directors.
Any observation? We take national.
This is where the editors come and sit down and do some of the editing. Yeah. But there are offices upstairs where we're going to now. Then we also have the studio. So there is a studio. I'm sure they will tell you that we need a bigger studio.
Yes, so TV clips in terms of news and news magazine program to TV.
No, you see, we have another version.
We have another
for the intern.
Okay.
We did an interview for the intern.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the one you like.
You know your neighbor.
Okay.
So at least this security situation was happening. And a lot of people don't know their neighbors. And we feel it's our responsibility to catch that. First time, we need for you to know that they can this particular case.
Who is a neighbor? A neighbor is a person living next door or very near. In case of houses, a person who lives across the street could be your neighbor. So if this definition is right, who then is your next door neighbor? Can you vouch for the credibility of your neighbor? How well do you know your neighbor? To this end, the news agency of Nigeria went to some neighborhoods in the Abuja metropolis to find out if residents do really care to know their neighbors and how well they interact.
I know them for more than 5-6 years now. We share things together. Okay. I cook, I give my neighbor. When my neighbor cook, he gave me too. So even when they are not around, I can go to her house or any one of them within this compound. We eat together.
I am a housewife. I have lived here for 2 years only. I know my neighbors. If anything happens, I talk to them, and they do the same to me. I know them, and vice versa. Emerging security concerns in the country has prompted the need for Nigerians to develop a culture of increased security awareness around their neighborhoods, promote security consciousness, ensure peace and harmony among people irrespective of their religious background, ethnicity, gender, and affiliate.
But I know very few people around here, culturally, or what you have these days, you don't know your neighbors. Of course, everybody is a complete stranger to each other. And the concept of good works has actually failed in our society. And what is good works? If I'm going out, I should be able to actually ask my baby or my son or my daughter to come to you. But now, all this actually failed.
I really don't know my neighbors very well, to be frank. I only know my neighbor if you are standing here to the right, who happens to have been a contractor I knew before. But even at that, he's just the landlord. He has a block of 6 flats for rental. You know what it means. Tenants come and tenants go. It's not possible for you to really know everybody. The same thing with the whole estate. There are some that I knew before are no longer here. I'm always cautious of my premises, even before the security situation as it is today.
Most foreigners, most Europeans get to know their neighbors, even though their neighbors may not know that they are well known. So when there is something, they say, oh yes, I know this couple, they have a child, just one boy, and they always go out by 8 a.m., they come back by 5. And old women, old men, you'll be surprised that they know the details of their movement. So if there's a crime or if there's any incident, you'll be surprised that they are the ones that will help the law enforcement agents. People think that security is a thing you can toy with. Part of security is the populace being aware of their surroundings. So it's very, very important. The police cannot act in vacuum. The army cannot act in vacuum. Intelligence gathering is more than 90% of crime fighting. So if anything happens, it's the people that will give the lead to the law enforcement agents.
A neighbor is, however, not restricted to a person or people who live next door to one another, but can also include environments with people who share common values. Such environments as markets and offices, which are usually crowded and abound daily with activities, have recently been targets for insurgent attacks. For instance, the attacks on markets and large business environments, not only in Abuja, but in a few states in the northeastern parts of the country, have given rise to the need for people within these environments to take precautionary measures.
Well, since we started this shop, we haven't for one day give it to somebody to run for us. We are the one running it. There's one guy, Elijah by name. We can leave the shop for him. Sometimes he holds the key of this shop. So it's only him in this area that I know that we can trust. That we can keep our key, tell him to take care of the shop that we are coming back.
Our news crew finds out how people in these environments have been able to develop a communal understanding to approach the challenges to security.
Security issues is, security is for everybody. It is not for one person. What we are doing here is all hands on deck.
The content, both text for newspapers, radio, for radio stations, and TV for TV stations with effective management and funding. We are hoping, sir, with your assistance, because we know that you have a very good intention for the media industry. Now we'll be able to have a modern TV production center and, of course, a modern TV studio, so that we'll be able to satisfy the public needs. It's really not government needs, but public needs. Sir, I also want to see the radio section.
I have a suggestion. The side
Director of Technical Services, Mr. Mohammed, Director of Administration, Mr. Romala, are you assistant of Deputy Director? We just promoted some of our staff yesterday. And that's Cosmos Colori, is Assistant Director of Admin. We have on this side, the head of multimedia, we have your Chukuba, the General Manager of Non-Disco. That's our internal auditor manager. This is the lady from accounts, Caroline, who very good. So that's about what we have here. Thank you very much. Well, this is Matt. Nigeria, almost wide service. What you see, we are going in part transformation. I'm sure that when your essay and my colleague here, several steps ahead, but it will be where we want to be, wherever we are on our way. The outward reform here is fundamental, providing a more working environment, equipment, tools, training for high manpower. Right now, we have all this set with the normal issue of funding. The Department of Planning, Research and Statistics, when I came there wasn't any, and then we created the Directorate of Lagos Operations. Because Lagos, when I came, I noticed that Lagos was being addressed as like a state office in this agency. I said, no, Lagos is too key, too strategic for us to just pick a hole in as a state office. Indeed, I remarked that if not for the issues of government and relationship with high authority, even the chief executive of NAN has no business in Abuja. It should be. When we came aboard, our first, because our news is online, reach the world, users. More interactive, like I said, a more modern portal that has access to the modern page, how much was abroad already, and how we can use that to refine what we have. So right now we are in touch with Airbus industry. The company then, was Astro. Now it has transformed into Airbus, which is a big, massive global company. But we're in touch with them, and they have agreed to work with us through their local representative here, to bring back our satellite system. The advantage of satellite system is that we will have our engines. Let me point out to you that the present, Galaxy backbone actually started from this agency. And it was sitting on that satellite facility we saw in the back. But through a combination of circumstances, it went moribund. And actually, even man is supposed to be on the board of Galaxy backbone, but we are the founders, basically like the founders of Galaxy backbone under the Ambassador administration. But that is a story for another day. What we are doing now is to bring back that satellite system. And it, of course, without, I don't need to tell you how it will ease our processes, and we'll have our own internet superhighway. We don't need anybody else. In fact, we'll be able to sell bandwidth if we want to. We'll be able to commercialize our operations. We can sell internet services to other people. We are able to do it, but that's on the larger. We'll start small, so that we are just able to first
do our own business without having to get third party involved in terms of supplies and services. But our building was pretty bad shape when we came, because the building was tired. I'm sure at the time it was done, like almost 15, 16 years ago. That was the modern technology, but over time it has become something. The tires were falling and putting our start factories. So we had to begin by cladding the entire building. There's also aspect of internal works. If you look around, you see that our internal, it looks nice, but we have some challenges there which are also to be done, but we just don't have money to continue right now. But I'm sure with the kind of interventions we'll be able to get some money to complete this work. We also did a total overhaul of our fleet. When we came aboard, our fleet was the youngest car in our fleet was 7 years old. And in government, I think the shelf life of vehicles are basically like 4 years, with a distribution of 25% every year. So after the 4th year, the car is really done for. And the newest was about 7 years. When we came, we did a total fleet overhaul of vehicles and kind intervention of the former president to give us some funding to do some things that we could do. The issues of training, it's been a challenge to us because of the issue of funding, but we have gone into relationship with various international agencies. Meanwhile, China, actually just came back from South Korea for the ONA meeting hosted by YOHAP. It was a meeting that was attended by almost all the agencies across the globe. Very vibrant meeting, and it's something that we're hoping to replicate here in Africa. That meeting was actually hosted by the mayor of Seoul, and it really gave a lot of publicity to that city. And it's something I think we can do here if we can host all the African intelligence in this capital, and if we can get, say, the FCT to host it, bring all Africa here, and then they will tell stories that Nigeria is more than insurgency. Nigeria is more than all the things that we're talking about, and people are actually living, getting married, and building families in this same Nigeria that is in the world, like I see, like Pakistan or something like that. Like I said, sir, the issue, the Lagos Directorate, we created the Lagos Directorate, because Lagos is a massive behemoth in this agency, and I thought that there's no way we will have. When I came, it was the Deputy Director that was head of Lagos. I said no. Lagos is too important, so we have to move an executive director to Lagos, who became the secretary of Lagos operations. Right now, all the executive directors are retired except one, Mr. Foladu. So the next senior person, as a director, is in charge of Lagos. We are actually writing to the ministry for the approval of our new executive directors, because we need to play good so that the younger ones can also have space to move on. Right now there's an issue about the Lagos office, which I'm sure I will probably brief you more about it, but I will mention it here because we have a bit of challenge with the National Theatre. But we're happy that finally the ministry is back as one, because initially when they separated information and culture, we now have this challenge that National Theatre was going in one direction and we go in one direction. We share the same premises in Lagos, and there was a threat to evict us if we had to write to the former president to protest it at that time. But now that the ministry is one and you are the head, you will be able to do justice to all the parties involved according to your wisdom, sir. I can report to you, sir, that the agency has grown in leaps and bounds in spite of the challenges we have. Right now, we are at an all-time high, with our news production. We have assembled some of the best hands in profession within the limits of the challenges of government. Many times, it was those days that brilliant people like the West Street for civil service, and West Street for university to civil service. Now young people want to go to the banks, want to go to the insurance companies, want to go to the oil companies. But in spite of that, we still have a lot of brilliant people that we absorb, when we have opportunities to. And you can see from the profile of our management here, these are very, very bright minds who are some of the most well qualified in their areas of production, in the areas of professionalism. Right now we have the non-SMS service. The non-SMS service, I'm sure the Honourable Minister is on our SMS service, and I'm sure you're on our SMS service, so you get our news alerts. It's a breaking news service, and we churn out an average of 20-25 items every day. But the difference between our breaking news and other media have breaking news. I'll give you an example of some of the challenges we face, because we don't report stories that are not confirmed. Out of what I died, we knew very early in the morning that the man had gone, but there was nobody to confirm. We spoke to this is also off record anyway. Well, at the end of the day, we had to use our news alert to report that news of the death of social person has gone viral nationwide, even though it is yet to be confirmed. And so that's the challenge we have with it. But sometimes people expect us to come out with news, but like I said, we are not Sahara reporters, we are not Premium Times. This is news.
But when he was arrested, you think
the challenge we have, sir. If we are reported that the man, when they say he died, that's okay. We had it, we debated all day. Yes, but if the man, if now says the man is dead and then the man wakes up, what? I saw that nice little documentary on he wants to be able to. We know that the TV stations have a lot of challenge in terms of programming content, and if we are able to build our multimedia and do a lot of news analysis and such video features and documentaries, I will be able to give a lot of content to TV stations, which we can earn quite a bit of money from. It's just that TV production is quite expensive. When the head of multimedia brings me a bill, sometimes I say, oh my God, I'm going to pay this much. Well, that's the way it is. And I would like to also mention that we are trying to get, we actually have approval already for a TV channel. But it's not a TV station in that sense, like a TV channel that we will put on DSTV and on Star Times. It's going to be a data kind of station. So when I came on board, I met an ongoing program called the Non-Media War. Right in my office there's a screen for the Non-Media War. The idea was to deploy those screens in public places, airports, some kind of major police stations, airport offices, so that people, when they sit down, they can see our breaking news on the screen. And I thought that we could actually make it better. And because if, for instance, I want the minister to see our news, I go and deploy the screen in his office. If I want the president to see our news, I deploy the screen in his office. And I didn't think that was the way to go. So we tweaked it a little bit, that we can get a channel on DSTV. So it's right there. So we feed the channel constant data. But it's something that's going to be very expensive, but it's something I will discuss with you probably in a different forum, because the act setting up now actually allows us to go into ancillary businesses. So if we're able to get joint venture people who have money who can fund it, we can bring the human resource and they can bring the funding, but that's another subject for this meeting. Presently, sir, our clientele for various products, media and non-media, have gone from 664 in 2011 to 874 in 2015. This, of course, excludes non-mobile. Non-mobile, we have our regular non-mobile. Yes, I forgot to mention on our side. On our non-mobile, we have actually 3 platforms. We have the non-mobile, which we have normal breaking news. Then we have the non-mobile that's done by Just Me and what's the second one? Renaissance Media. Those ones, they actually work directly with the telecom companies, you know, and they present our news, sports, we segment news, you know, for them. That one goes across, you know, the board. But this one is more specialized. Now, this subscriber platform, we have about 5,000 subscribers already. But on the other platform, we have close to a million plus subscribers. But that one, the money is a lot smaller. You know, so literally it all comes down to the same thing. Right now, we are trying to expand the SMS service to include the major languages, Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. And subsequently, I want to use Pidgin English, because that is the language of mass communication in most parts of the country. Basically, in terms of our modest achievements, we have seen more than 450% rise in our general news service output from an average of 250, you know, to now about 400 to 500, you know, depending on the days. We have the output of 80 digital color photos. We have provided up to computers across the offices right now. We have brought our total to about 400. Computers, laptops, iPads. Like I said, our clientele has increased also 874 from 664. Unfortunately, our internet generated revenue is not growing as fast as we had hoped to, because we service a typically distressed sector. So it's like we are like a community doctor in the village. You know, all your clients, all your customers are poor. So to be able to get money from them, I mean, it's very difficult. It's interesting that some of the biggest newspapers, we charge 1,450,000 for general news service for the whole year, which I think is ridiculous, given the fact that 60% of what they publish is from them. But when I came, we tried to increase it, but it didn't make sense, because even the 1,450,000 very big newspapers come and give you a check of 200,000, 150,000. You know, so somebody who's paying you that, you know, they haven't even paid salaries for 6 months. You know, just okay, please bring the one you have, let us, you know, so that's the challenge we have. So right now, internal general revenues at 2014 was 160 million in a year, and 160 million for a whole year, you know, placed side by side with our declining overhead. When I came, overhead was 18, but even before me, the overhead of this agency was about 32 million. It came down to 28, it came down to 25. By the time I got here, it was 18, and as of the year, it came down to 16, came down to 15, came down to 14. That is when you get it. Well, Mr. Bolabi, when did we get our last overhead?
I say 1 or 3 months.
Yes, it was 3 months, you know, in this year, you know. Our total capital budget is 30 million. Is it naira or dollar? As I wish. It's also 30 million. Now the 30 million, only 7 million was released, you know, for an agency of the size that is important. So when the Honourable Minister is concerned that the agencies of government mass communication are going down, yes, we are going down side by side, increasing revenue. And as it was, if we were a TV station where we would take advance and all that from the private sector, because here we eventually cannot, you know, so it's been very tough. It's very tough. Right now we're supposed to have 5 foreign offices: New York, Johannesburg, Addis, Abidjan, and London. But as I speak to you, only New York is active, because even the people who came back 10 years back were still owing them. So it doesn't make sense to deploy people. What we're trying to do now is to look for people who are resident in those areas already, you know, and use them as freelancers. The stories will still come to us to control, you know, so stories can get to our portal without all the areas led by Mr. Lawa here. So we probably have to think out of the box and find a way, to make our work more easily accessible to the rest of the world. Mr. Sir, I don't think I ought to keep you further because the rest will be internal words for that.
While I must admit I'm not too strange some of the issues raised, I think it's better that I study the address in a much more comprehensive manner so I can be able to address it in a much more comprehensive way. But I can assure you that I would study the address and get back to the management and the MD on areas where we can immediately intervene. I've come with just one message to you today. The News Agency of Nigeria must regain its competitive edge and play in the big league. A few years back, NAN was dominant in the country's news architecture. It was then widely quoted within and outside the country as a source of credible news. Then it went to multimedia, full blast, becoming a leading, if not the leading national news agency in Africa. Today, however, it has lost that edge in an increasingly competitive news environment. Only those media organizations that exhibit creativity in their approach to the news business will excel. And none, I must say, has what it takes to excel. So none must show more hunger for the kind of news that cannot be resisted by subscribers. It must go beyond a bland reporting of the news, beyond front-loading its cast with mostly news about the activities of government. It must become the first source of credible news about Nigeria. A situation where Nigerian media establishments quote very wide services for events that occur within their country is a big blow to none. We should ordinarily fill that void. Under my watch, the nation's only official wire service must also uphold its editorial policy, which includes that news and comments emanating from the agency must be truthful, honest, and fair, but must not jeopardize peace and harmony in the country. It is also important to emphasize that in accordance with that policy, NAN cannot be neutral in any matter affecting the sovereignty and unity of the country. The admonition NAN to regain its lost shine, the excuse of poor funding will not be tenable. The agency can indeed generate a bigger chunk of what it needs to operate, despite the argument that only very few, if any, national news agencies in the world are self-sustaining. All one has to do is to develop the kind of services that none of the subscribers or potential subscribers can resist. Even though they are not national news agencies, that's how top global news agencies like Reuters, Agence France Presse, and the Associated Press have stayed in business in an increasingly tough news environment. Fortunately, NAN has largely maintained its credibility over the years. It must leverage on that credibility to bounce back to the top league among national and even international news agencies. It must show more passion, more hunger, and more creativity. So the news business is dynamic. The agency must train and retrain its staff to mold them to top-class professionals. By the time NAN marks the 40th anniversary of its existence next year, they should do so as Africa's top national news agency, trust with the news on Nigeria and indeed Africa. I thank you for listening.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, staff of NAN. The message delivered is clear, and I believe you are up to the challenge. So at this stage, we want to thank everybody who's been here with us. Thank you. All right. So at this stage, I will just request the MD, the Permanent Secretary, to please pose for a group photograph, after which the Honorable Minister will go in for non-forum. And pressmen that have come with us, you can get back to the office. The non-forum is exclusive. Thank you very much.